It's time to add some text now to this space helmet. And there are different ways of doing this, of course. You could use Blender just to add text. For example, I could come in here and select the face and Shift S, cursor and select it to bring the 3D cursor there. Look from the side, let's say. Then go Shift A, text, and I come over to the text panel here. Maybe change the alignment to center here and center there. Scale it down. Rotate Y 90 and rotate X 90. Scale it down. And I could just do my text that way. But instead, I'm going to use decals. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to look from the side. And I'm going to take a screenshot of these buttons. And I'm going to bring that screenshot into some kind of image editor. In my case, I'm going to use Flash. But of course, many people would use Photoshop. And I think in a future video, I'll show you how you could use PowerPoint in case you don't have Photoshop. So I'm going to press the print screen. And I'm going to come over to Flash and Control V. So I've got a screenshot of this. And I just want to make sure that it sort of fits on my stage. I'm going to create a new layer for my text. And I'm just using this mostly to get the correct spacing and to see what the text would look like, I guess, on here. So I'm going to go ahead and type some text, and I'll do something like record. And just get the size of the text that I want and the font that I want. I do want to have it, pretty much in the position that I would want it in. So let's say I have a record button. And maybe this one will say play. And this one I'll do smaller. And then maybe stop. Okay. Then I'll take these two and I'll bring them down here. And maybe this one will be pause. And I can make those a little smaller to fit. And maybe I'll delete that one. And maybe this one will be rewind. Okay. Make those a little smaller to fit. I'll be adjusting the size of these in Blender most likely. And here I'll do some symbols. Let's do a circle. And let's do maybe a square. Maybe not that big. that. And maybe I'll just copy that over. Cut it. Maybe we'll do a pause. And you could do any symbols you wanted at that point. And maybe for this one, I'll change it to red. Maybe that red. Okay, so, you know, anything you want to do on here. So there's my text. I'm just going to, in Flash's case, convert it to a symbol. It's just all one big piece, and it's just easier to deal with. But if I hide that, you can see there's my text. All right, I'm going to now delete this right there. I don't need that anymore. In Flash, you have to actually delete the layer before you export an image, or else it'll come out even if you've hid it. But in Photoshop, I guess you can hide the layer. All right, so I've got that. I'm going to change my frame, my background color. And there's my text. I'm going to export this as a PNG, so I'll call this helmet text.png, and I'm okay with just exporting it as the full document size, just to make sure that my symbols aren't clipped or my words. So anyways, like I say, you could use Flash, you could use Photoshop, you could use GIMP, of course. So I'll get rid of that for now. And I'll come back here. All right, so the way I'm going to apply this as a decal, let me do some modification to it, is using the Blender add-on that comes installed with Blender, which is add images as planes. So if I go Shift-A, images as planes. And if you don't have that option, you just go into Edit, Preferences, and Images. Okay, import images as planes. Make sure that's ticked. So with my 3D cursor roughly in the area that I want that, I'm going to go Shift-A, Images as planes, and then find that. Okay, there it is. I'm going to go into Edit Mode, Rotate Z90, and then Scale. And look from the side. Then just start finding this. And then I'm going to start scaling it so it roughly fits the way I want it. And I'm not too worried if every word doesn't fit perfectly centered yet, because I'm going to do something here. I'll do that right now. So this is obviously very large, so I'm going to add some edge loops and bring it pretty much to the top of the words without cutting them. Put one there. And I think I'll go right there to the bottom of these symbols. And I'm just cutting out the words. We'll go to the symbols. I'm going to go here for the red dot for now. And when I'm ready, I'm just going to press face selection, and I'm going to start deleting stuff that I don't need. Delete those faces. You'll start seeing what's happening here. I'm going to come in here. I'll go ahead and I'll put one there, and I'll put one there, and I'll put one here. Let's delete some more of this stuff. I think these three are probably okay as they are. So I'm going to come in here and do another one right there and get rid of this stuff here. And I can probably use that as it is, but first I'm going to cut in there. Okay. Let's get rid of this stuff. really want just the words if I can get them, because I'm going to use shrink wrap to put these on, as you'll see in a moment. Just cutting them out. There we go. Okay, so for example, I can take this now and I can move this stop, and I can move this. I can come in here and delete a little bit more if I want. Okay, I can delete that. I think I will come in here and just make it so I've got each individual one, sort of like a trim sheet. There we go. Okay, good. I've got each of them, but there's still one main object. All right, pull that out just a little bit. So let's say I'm happy with that. I come over to the modifiers now. Shrink wrap. By eyedropper, I'm going to select my buttons. And my offset, I'll go 0.001. I'll try that. And I can come in here and I can still pull these down. The reason I cut out all the extra stuff is because if I get too close to the edge, I'll get that kind of effect. So I just go into edit mode, select the one I want, and move it till I'm happy. Okay. May have cut off the very top of my text right there, but hopefully from a distance it looks okay. You get the idea. Okay, I'm going to take that text now, and I want it on the other side. So the way I'm going to do this is, I think I'll Shift-C to bring my 3D cursor right back to the middle there. And with my text selected, I'm going to set the origin to the 3D cursor. I'm going to Shift-D, rotate Z 180, turn off shrink wrap, and move it out just a little bit. And now I've got this. Control 3 to look from the other side. It's a little awkward. I'm going to set the origin now to this. I'm going to bring it in, and now what I'm going to do is just center the record text. Get the record text where I think I want it. I'm going to come into edit mode on the text. I'll grab play, slide it over, stop, slide that over. Now let's see what I got here. Pause and rewind. Okay, and then for these buttons, I guess I have to adjust the order of these. Pretty easy to do. So it's not an exact mirror, because if you just mirror it, the text ends up looking backwards. Let's see, does it look right? Let's give it a try with shrink wrap now here. .001. Okay. Is that right? Pause is under play. There we go. Okay, hopefully that looks okay. We'll have a quick look at a render with that. All right, get it there. Control B, draw a box around an area, press F12. All right, that's how my text is looking. Not too bad. Control Alt B to get rid of that and zero to come out of there. All right, so far so good. Now there's another thing that I want to do here. On this lens here. It's not exactly a decal, but I'll keep it in with the decal section. And that'll be it for this video. And so what I'll do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to select a circle, Shift S, cursor selected. So my 3D cursor is right in the middle. I want to put some white little dashes around here just to give another little, more detail. So Shift A, mesh, circle, and I'm going to choose a number, something like maybe 40 vertices. Go into edit mode, scale it down. Okay, I'm going to rotate X 90. So I have a good number of points. I'm going to bring it in close. Press E and S to scale and come out. And I'm on a relatively flat surface for this to work. All right, so I'm going to press 3 for face selection and select it all. And I want just every other box. So I'm going to come to select and check or deselect and use the default values of 1 here. X faces. So I've got that. Now I'm going to come to individual origins and I'm going to press S. Just make them smaller. And something like that is going to be just fine for what I want to do. Where are you? Press the period key to focus in on that. I'm going to push it out here, make sure that it's above the surface. And I'm going to use shrink wrap again, choosing the lens. And I'm going to try 0.001. We'll see if that's good enough to pop them out and pretty much beyond the surface. You could also try 0.0001, a little bit closer, and I might even consider whether or not that would work here. Let's just try it. Yeah, I did cut that off, but I think that looks a little bit better, and so I think I'll apply that, not apply it, but use that over here as well, 0.0001. This, of course, is the easiest way of doing things because I'm on a flat surface. We will have some curved surfaces to deal with later on. And for this, we'll do like material, and I'll just call this lens markers, and just white, and that's fine. I could, decrease the roughness if I want, in case there's anything going on with that. Let's look through the camera. I'll hide this stuff so you can just see it. Let's just do a Control B just to render that area there. All right, that's what that looks like. I think I'll turn these back on and let's come out of camera view. And I'm gonna have another look at this here. I'm in individual origins. I'm going to switch back to median point and I'm going to press S. I just thought they were a little bit close there. I think that's probably going to be okay for what I want to do. So I want to get that on the other side as well. So I'm going to just select that stuff there. Really, I should be probably labeling things here in the hierarchy, but okay, with that selected there, I'll come over and choose mirror, and with my eyedropper I'll choose the helmet to mirror around. So that's on the other side now. Okay, cool. Let's have a look at a full render of this and see how it's looking so far. Turn it a little bit so we see a little bit of the text and a little bit of those white dots as well. All right, here's my render, and you can see the white dots. It just looks a little bit better than, sort of all black in that area. And my text is here. Of course, you could put text up there. And like I say, we'll do some other work on here. But let's just jump into the compositor, and we'll get a small glow effect from this glare right there. I might be doing some changes up here, and I might make a little change down here as well. But that's what it's looking like so far. And so in the next video, I'm going to continue adding, I think, a few more decals on the helmet, a couple more design ideas, and that will be it for this little series.